Sometimes, the deepest wounds come not from strangers but from those we love most. Why does a son humiliate his mother? This question doesn't just break hearts, it exposes raw truths about the human mind. In this journey, we'll dive into psychoanalysis to uncover why these painful patterns emerge. You'll see how hidden conflicts, societal pressures, and buried parts of the psyche fuel this behavior. By the end, you'll not only grasp the psychology behind it, but also gain clarity on the messy, complex nature of family bonds. Let's face the truth together. Carl Jung taught us that we often fight what we can't accept in ourselves. When a grown son lashes out at his mother, it's not just a bad day or a fleeting argument. It's a repeated pattern of tearing her down, rooted in the deepest corners of his mind. This isn't about not caring, it's about being too emotionally tangled, unable to find a healthy way out. The mother, in a son's psyche, isn't just a person, she's a powerful archetype. She's safety, nurturing, but also dependence. When he attacks her, he's not just targeting her, he's battling his own memories of needing her, of feeling small and vulnerable. Humiliation becomes his way of expressing feelings he can't name. Picture a boy who never learned to process his mixed emotions toward his mom. As an adult, those feelings come out as destruction. Love that felt too big becomes anger. Gratitude that weighed heavy turns to resentment. The need for closeness flips into a cruel push away. This shows up most when the mother is vulnerable, aging, sick, or needing help. The roles flip. The son, once dependent, now holds power. Instead of responding with kindness, he lashes out, driven by an unconscious need to settle old scores for all those years of reliance. Jung pointed out that we attack what mirrors our own flaws. A mother who gave everything becomes a reflection of his own dependence. Her love reminds him he once needed her completely. Her pride in him highlights how much of his identity she shaped. Humiliating her is a desperate attempt to escape the guilt of that debt. He thinks he can break free by pushing her down, but it backfires. Every jab at her wounds the part of him that still loves her, the child inside who once saw her as everything. This cruelty traps him in a cycle, sinking deeper into his own pain. Freud would call this repression at work. The son buries his positive feelings for his mother because they threaten his image as a strong, independent man. Those buried feelings twist into aggression. Love he can't face becomes a drive to tear down. He projects his own fears and failures onto her, making her the target for everything he hasn't achieved or can't admit. She's labeled too clingy when he struggles to set boundaries. She's called controlling when he can't voice his own needs. These accusations distort her reality. She becomes a canvas for his inner struggles, not the complex woman she is. Jung's concept of the shadow fits here. It's all the parts of himself he rejects. When he attacks her emotional side, it's because he fears his own feelings. When he mocks her care, it's because he can't admit he still craves connection. The tragedy is that this fight keeps them bound together, stuck in a bond that should have evolved. This brings us to a deeper layer. The son who humiliates his mother is still emotionally tied to her. His attacks are a twisted form of attachment. He fights so hard because he hasn't truly separated from her. Jung called the process of becoming your true self individuation, which requires breaking from parents in a way that respects both sides. A son who degrades his mother hasn't done this. He's stuck in a teenage-like rebellion, but it's not the healthy kind where a kid tests limits. It's the bitter revolt of an adult who never learned to stand on his own without tearing her down. Humiliation becomes his ritual to prove he's free, but it only shows how trapped he is in old patterns. The mother, too, plays a role in this painful dance. She's often given her life to her son, only to face his contempt. But sometimes, she holds on too tightly, defining herself through motherhood. Jung saw that both sides fuel destructive patterns unconsciously. A mother who accepts humiliation may signal it's okay, reinforcing the cycle. She might take on the victim role, believing it's the only way to keep her son close. This stems from her own unresolved issues. Maybe she never learned her worth beyond being a mom. She mistakes self-sacrifice for love, thinking it's what devotion looks like. But this doesn't help her son. It fuels his disrespect, showing he can overpower her. A mother who sets no boundaries teaches her son to exploit that weakness, deepening the cycle. This pattern often runs through generations. A son might have seen his father belittle his mother, learning it as normal. He mimics that behavior, thinking it proves strength. Cultural norms play a part too. Society rarely encourages men to show care, especially for aging parents. When a mother needs support, maybe she's frail or ill, many sons feel overwhelmed. Instead of learning to nurture, they reject her needs, blaming her for being weak. This is especially true in modern life, where distance makes it easier to disconnect. Sons living far away, busy with work or family, turn their mothers into distant figures, easy targets for frustration. Technology, meant to bridge gaps, becomes a weapon. Ignored texts, skipped calls, or canceled visits leave mothers in quiet pain, a passive-aggressive cruelty sharper than words. Jung believed strong reactions point to unconscious complexes. A son who lashes out may carry a mother complex, shaping his entire personality. Some sons are too dependent, never forming their own identity, so they humiliate to break free. Others fear anything maternal, seeing closeness as a threat to their independence, so they push back with aggression. Both extremes show a lack of balance. He can't be close and independent at once. The mother, caught in her own needs, may cling to her role, unable to let go without losing herself. Her lack of boundaries and willingness to endure pain signal that his behavior is okay, locking them both in a toxic loop. Healing starts with facing these hidden patterns. For the son, it means owning his fears and weaknesses instead of blaming her. True strength isn't in cruelty but in handling his own vulnerabilities. For the mother, it's about finding worth beyond motherhood and setting firm boundaries. She must see that real love doesn't mean tolerating abuse. Both need to face hard truths. The son, that his attacks stem from his own pain. The mother, that her sacrifices may block true connection. This is tough but freeing. If they confront these patterns, they can build a relationship based on respect and independence, not guilt or projection. Jung said the greatest treasures hide in our psyche's darkest corners. This painful dynamic holds the potential for transformation. If the son faces his shadow, he can grow into a man who's both strong and kind. If the mother honors her own value, she can love without losing herself. The humiliation that divides them can become a starting point for real, conscious connection. It takes courage to face these truths and transform old patterns. The question isn't just why a son hurts his mother, it's how they can both step out of the shadows. If this hits home, whether you're a mother or a son, know that change is possible. Awareness is the first step. Jung once said that what irritates us in others leads to self-understanding. These painful family ties are gateways to growth. Share your thoughts in the comments. How have you seen these dynamics play out? Subscribe for more deep dives into the human mind, because only by facing our darkest impulses can we find our brightest light.